Hey, Troy, welcome back. This is RayTube practice question number 47, and we have two questions within this video right here, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's jump into the first question. A social worker meets with a couple to complete a consultation. The couple reports several issues within their relationship, including physical abuse. As the meeting concluded, the couple expressed hope in the social worker's ability to help them improve their relationship. What should the social worker do next? A. Decline providing services to the couple. B. Collaboratively create a safety plan prior to starting services. C. Educate the couple about the negative impact abuse has on relationships. Or D. Confirm a start date for the couple. Take a second, pause, read through the question, read through the answer choices, select your best answer, unpause, and we'll dive into the explanation. Okay. If you picked A, decline providing services to the couple, you are correct. Why? So, according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, we at the hotline do not encourage anyone in an abusive relationship to seek counseling with their partner. Abuse is not a relationship problem, and I'll put a link to their website down in the description. So, just a rule for couples: we do not provide therapy services to a couple who is experiencing domestic violence, since it negatively impacts the healing process for the relationship. If the social worker becomes aware that domestic violence is occurring, the social worker should inform the couple that services will conclude due to our policy and help them to obtain their own individual provider for continuation of care. And how would that look? So I just created a mini situation right here. So let's say the situation, active abuse was confirmed 30 minutes into the third counseling session. As the social worker, we would say, due to our policy on abuse, sessions will discontinue after this one. All social workers abide by this policy since it impacts the couple's healing process. I recommend you both attain an individual provider for continuation of care. I can also help you with this process. So, number one, when we learn about it, and again, this is happening before, like during, when they're signing the paperwork, discussing, fees, copays, all of that jazz. We're informing them about this in the beginning, so it's not even a thing. And within the question is during the consultation process. So this is when it was occurring within the question. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that the couple it wasn't reported, or if it's new, or whatever the case may be, we find out about it session number 3, 30 minutes into a session, right? We don't just tell them, okay, it's over, get out right now. Still finish the session, but we're informing them of this information, and we're letting them know it's a social work thing, not a us thing. So that way they don't waste their time getting another provider and then finding out it's the same situation. Then they have to go to another person and everything. So we're helping them with this. And also, the social worker can still see one of the clients, but only if they initiate the request. It doesn't go against agency/organization policy or any other legal/state regulation. It will be discussed during that final session. So let's say, again, we're explaining this to them, and they say, hey, can one of us still see you? Because we don't want to go through the trouble of finding, two more social workers when we have one right here. We understand that you don't provide counseling services to a couple when, abuse is going on, but since we got to find another provider, can one of us still see you? Let them initiate it, and that can be discussed again within that final session. We're not picking and choosing and saying, okay, I'll still see you. Okay, I'll still see you. So that's why, again, A is the correct answer. We decline providing services to the couple. And remember, the answer choices are not always going to be presented in a nice, clean way. How about if it's presented like this? B is incorrect. Collaboratively create a safety plan prior to starting services. As social workers, we don't provide counseling services to a couple when active abuse is occurring. And also, we won't create a safety plan with the abuser because we just wouldn't. And I know some of us may be thinking, like, wait a second, Ray, what about when a client's experiencing domestic violence? And there's situations where we lead them with resources, educate them, or create a safety plan with them. That's when we're meeting with the client one-on-one, not when the abuser is also a client. Again, that's during couples counseling. If we were meeting the client one-on-one, then yeah, we would want to create a safety plan with them. But as a couple, we're not creating a safety plan with the couple. And C, educate the couple about the negative impact abuse has on a relationship. This is incorrect. The couple already has this understanding by identifying physical abuse as one of the issues within their relationship. So um, they don't need education. And D, confirm a start date for the couple. This would be incorrect. As social workers, we don't provide counseling services to a couple when active abuse is occurring. So this would be incorrect. The correct answer would be A, decline providing services to the couple. Okay, so now let's go to question number 2. A social worker receives a call from a client who is requesting access to their couple's therapy records following an argument with their spouse over the weekend. The client says they met with their lawyer and plans to proceed with filing for divorce. How should the social worker respond next? A, provide the client with access to their couple's therapy records. B, inform the client that a subpoena is needed due to the legal nature of the request. C, provide access only to the records in which the client was the primary speaker during the session. Or D, tell the client that consent must be obtained from their spouse for the records to be released. Again, pause the video, reread through the question, reread through the answer choices, select your best answer, unpause the video, and then we'll jump into the explanation. Okay, if you picked D, you are correct. Why? So, according to the NASW Code of Ethics, couples therapy access to records, and I know some of us be thinking like, wait a second, Ray. According to the NASW Code of Ethics, I don't remember this section. What was this? I read through it. I saw your playlist. I don't remember this. Where you get this from? You making this up? No, no, no. If you're subscribed to the NASW, you have access to their library, their database, and this is one of the articles within there. And couples therapy access to records, release of a couple's records. So, clients generally have the right to inspect, copy, and have access to their own records under both HIPAA and/or state law. However, another applicable rule is that social workers are not to release client information unless required or permitted by law or unless specifically authorized in a written document signed by the client. In couples therapy, both partners must provide their written consent to release marital counseling records or any information regarding treatment learned during a conjoint therapy session. If one party does not provide consent, then the records should not be released absent a specific court order. So, saying like, hey, if we get a court order from a judge for the records, that's different. That's different. But outside of that, they both need to sign off on the release for the records to be released to one or both parties. Doing so could constitute a breach of confidentiality and potentially lead to a lawsuit, a licensure board complaint, or ethics complaint. Releasing a couple's therapy records to a third party should only be done with a written authorization signed by the two individuals that constitute the couple. Since neither of them alone controls what can happen to the records, a request for a copy of the records has to come from both parties. If only one party is willing to consent to the release of records, the social worker is required to take necessary measures to protect the privacy and confidentiality of the non-consenting party. If one party to the couple's counseling does not consent to the disclosure of records requested in a subpoena, the social worker may be obligated to take legal steps to review or seek to block the subpoena. This may be done by filing an objection or a motion to squash. So again, when it comes to couples counseling, couples therapy services, unless it's a court order from a judge, lawyer, attorney, or the other party within the couple seeking the records, we don't give over the records unless both parties within the couple agree to it and they sign off, they sign the consent forms, all that jazz, and then they agree. If not, we do not release the record. So that's how we respond during this situation here. Okay, tribe, that's it for today's video. Again, that was RayTube practice question number 47. We had 2 questions pertaining to couples within this one. And again, you know what I say, doing at least 2 practice questions a day and at least 1 practice exam a month helps keep the exam anxiety at bay, helps us keep us in that exam state of mind, so we have an idea of how these questions are going to present themselves and just get the different looks at the different styles of questions and answer choices, so we can go in there, pass our exam, and continue with our social work journey. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with a social work friend because we don't want to be licensed by ourselves. And most importantly above all, you got this. Remember why you want to obtain your license. Think about the people that you'll be able to help, the additional finances you'll be able to help for yourself and your family. So again, you got this. All right, tribe, I'll see you next video.